Guys, so today we have a news story, and it's about it's the first anti-science education bill of 2016, which has surfaced in Oklahoma. It's a little later, it's a little old of a story, but YouTube made me cut the video short for some reason, so I'm just re-recording it. This happened on January 24th, 2016. And the senator version of the bill was introduced by Republican Josh Breckin, and the House version of the bill was represented by Sally Kern. Now, the senator's bill was the 5th year in a row they have attempted this anti-science education bill. It says they want to publicly fund schools, or every publicly funded Oklahoma school, to teach the debate of creation and evolution. Now, I'm going to get into why I have problems with each of their arguments, but let me get all the information down first so you have your own opinion of it. They say the version omits any branch of science that could seem controversial, and it blocks educational officers from prohibiting a teacher from teaching the strengths and weaknesses of scientific theories. Now, the reason I have a problem with the debate of creationism and evolution is because one is a proven fact and the other is a hypothesis. It's not a theory. Creationism is not a theory in scientific terms. In layman's terms, creationism is a theory. In scientific terms, it is far from it. Now, so that's basically all I have to say about that. And the strengths and weaknesses, if we would actually have the strengths and weaknesses debate, I'm fine with that. And now, if you teach the debate of creationism and evolution in a theology class, that is fine. But teaching it in a science class makes no sense because creationism is simply not science. Now, the representative bill, or the House's bill, is described more as traditional, and you'll see why in a second. But it's called the Scientific Education and Academic Freedom Act. And it says that areas like biology, chemistry, meteorology, bioethics, and physics cause controversy, making teachers unsure of how they should present the information. Now, I'm assuming they're touching on the origin of life. Well, actually, this is what they say. They say these terms are controversial. The biological evolution, of course. Chemical origins of life, of course. Global warming, of course. And human cloning, that one's kind of out of the blue. I didn't think that was actually a problem, but I guess it is. So the bill says teachers can just teach whatever they want, as long as they think it's science. There's more. But students, on the other hand, can be punished for subscribing to a particular position on scientific theories. That's what the bill says. I don't understand. I have no clue what's going on. So they want to point out that this has nothing to do with religion, and this is their 4th try, their 4th year and their 4th try of Academic Freedom Act. I put the quotations in myself. Now, the representative's bill I have much more of a problem with than the senator's bill. The senator's bill is simply saying, let's debate creationism and evolution, which I understand why people want to debate it, but it's not. Science classrooms are not a platform for that debate. Now, the representative's bill is extremely, extremely bad. They want to not teach biological evolution, which has been proven as a fact time and time again. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Ken Ham. And I don't care if you're Bill Nye. It's a fact. Things evolve and change with their environment over long periods of time. It's just how things work. Now, people like to cut it up into macro and micro evolution, and many people are saying, who are on the edge of evolution, are like, oh, well, macro doesn't actually exist, and micro does. Now, micro would be the small changes to a species, like human beings would always have existed, and that species stays within themselves, and they evolve to better their own species. Now, macroevolution would be the branch of common ancestor for us and chimps that they would not believe. Now, it's obviously stupid to think that those two are discernible, because big changes are caused by little minute changes added up to each other. If you know what evolution is, if you have studied evolution, you would understand that. But let me digress to another topic. So global warming is labeled as a controversial subject, which is extremely bad because it is also a fact. It is also happening. And the fact that people want to deny it simply means that they're bought, like politicians that want to deny it, simply means that they're bought by oil companies, or coal companies, or natural gas companies, or any fossil fuel. That's all it means. Now, am I saying that every single person who denies global warming is bought or persuaded by the gas companies? Of course not. There's way too many people that deny it. Those people that deny it are simply ignorant. They're not stupid. When I say ignorant, I simply mean they're not educated on the matter. If you brought forth data with the science behind it to every person who denies it, I guarantee you a majority of those people would realize that they're wrong, and then they would believe in climate change and global warming. Now, human cloning, if you don't know about what's going on with human cloning, it's amazing. So apparently, I forget what college, I forget what situation it was under, but in a college laboratory, they've grown a fetal brain of a human baby. That's amazing. They're creating human life. If you can grow a brain and have it function, are we not creating artificial intelligence? Wouldn't that be what that would be? That's a weird way to say that. But wouldn't that be artificial intelligence? Now, I'm not saying that this brain is functioning. I'm not saying any of this. It's simply made of the same cells and the same composition. And it's the overall shape and form of a fetal brain. Now, does it function? I do not know. If you want to look into it, you can probably Google that or something, but pretty interesting topic to think about. And I want to get back to one thing. Chemical origins of life, extremely interesting. If you ever heard of abiogenesis, it's a really interesting topic where scientists took a vial of gases and all the elements that they believed were in the atmosphere of Earth before life, like early Earth, and they shocked it, and it created something very special, something very important, known as amino acids. If you don't know what amino acids are, amino acids create proteins. What are proteins? The building blocks of life. It's a big thing, big thing. Now, when they go and say, teachers can teach whatever they want, this is a quote. The bill specifically says teachers can just teach whatever they want as long as they think it's science. Now, this is obviously a religious point of view. I'm not saying that every religious person believes this, but it is definitely a religious perspective because creationism cannot be proven. It can't be proven. But it can't be proven false. It's a subject that is a circular argument. Creationism is right because God says it is. God says creationism is right, so it's right. Do you see why that argument doesn't work? Because there's no solid evidence that says creationism occurred. There is a Bible which has many fallacies, many problems with it. Now, if you get into the crux of everything, right? we get into the crux of it. Is there still questions to be answered? Hell yes. There's so many things we don't know, but that's the glory of it. It's fantastic to think that humans could one day understand how this world and this universe were created. Could it be by a deity? If it is, fantastic. If it isn't, amazing. If it's created by nature, which I think it is, which is if it's created by natural occurrences that are uninfluenced by anything but themselves, that is amazing. And I just want to leave it off with one thing. Saying that this is an academic freedom act is simply denial, because pushing your beliefs on others prohibits freedom.